Insider, it is Andrew here, and this is the iPhone 13 Pro. There is a lot of new features to touch on, so let's go over my favorite new features, including these exclusive wallpapers. In Pro are 4 exclusive live wallpapers that you can only get on the iPhone 13 Pro. These wallpapers are animated, so as you touch on the screen and hold, kind of like what used to be 3D Touch, those wallpapers will animate, and it works right on your lock screen. They are so cool. Apple showed these off during the actual announcement of the phone itself, and they work in both light mode and dark mode. So here you can see what it looks like with dark mode. I'll use Siri to switch light mode back on. You can see what it looks like there. If we go back, the blue one is really killer. It's in a lot of Apple's marketing images. So let's look at that one more time. Light mode there, and use Siri. Let's go to dark mode. These are some cool wallpapers if you are a fan of Apple's own live wallpapers. Apple is using its brand new A15 Bionic chip to run the iPhone 13 Pro, and it's got some pretty good performance boosts here. As you can see on the Geekbench test, we went from about a 1600 to a 1732 and a 4000 to a 4255, about a 200-point gap there on that multi-core test. Looking at the Metal score, we have a huge jump because the A15 Bionic actually has an additional GPU core. Finally, on the Geekbench ML test, we went from almost a 900 to 936, about a 50 or 60 point jump there, moving up on the A15 Bionic from the A14 Bionic. That new chip is also what enables this Pro Motion display. It's able to control this display, ramping it up to 120 Hz when necessary, like scrolling through Safari, switching through home screens, and in select third-party apps that are updated to take advantage of the high frame rate display. This is also what enables the amazing battery life on the 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. We're seeing significantly better battery life on both of these two new devices. Real quick, I've got to thank our sponsor for this video, Alto. Alto creates some of my favorite cases of all time, and I've used them on my daily driver for years. And one of the biggest reasons is I love the leather that they use. It's this high quality Italian aniline dyed leather that also has some really great colors. You can see we have a green and a blue one over here, and then on the Metro case we have this two-tone finish with like a black, I think they call it raven, but like raven black and caramel on the bottom, and it's just amazing colorways, and the leather is so soft and it feels so nice. So they have two different cases that I'm looking at here. This is the original 360. It has a bumper around the edge, which is a little more protective. It has this honeycomb structure on the inside for drop protection. And there's leather there on the back. You can see a couple of these colors. You can see how it completely covers the buttons as well as all of the ports like on the bottom of the phone. This is the original 360. And then we have the Metro case, which is my personal favorite. The Metro case here. You can see we have the card slots on the back. It's called the Metro case because you could put like a bus pass, anything like that. But it'll hold your credit cards, it'll hold your ID, your Apple Card, your cash, business cards, anything like that on the back of this case. We have more access to the buttons, so everything's still protected, corners, everything like that, but you have full access to Apple's actual buttons, which I kind of prefer. It's a little more tactile than hitting through a bumper. You can see we have access on the bottom there too. But because we have this cover here, what happens if you have to wirelessly charge? Don't worry, Alto has you covered with their new Metro case, because boom, it closes magnetically. You have full access to the back of your phone. Pops open, set it on a wireless charger, get your charging done. When it's done charging, you pick it up, boom, all good to go. Closes, not gonna go anywhere. You're not gonna lose your card. You're not gonna forget your wallet. You got a MagSafe wallet? Cool. You literally need Find My so that you don't lose the thing. But with this, it's completely built in. It's such a great feature. Alto is running a promotion right now if you want to grab any of their cases. 10% off through the end of October. It's 10% off plus free worldwide shipping. So go ahead and jump on that. There's a link down below in the description. Go there, check it out. Thanks again to Alto for sponsoring this video. Now let's the left compared to the Pacific Blue of the iPhone 12 Pro Max there on the right. Sierra Blue is a bit of a lighter color, though it's still stainless steel sides and the glass back. It's definitely a little bit lighter. The sides aren't quite as dark either, but it's not a huge departure. If you like the Pacific Blue, you'll probably still like the Sierra Blue. It's a little more to the baby blue, so I can understand why some people don't like it as much, but still, it's a great new color. That brings us to number 4 on our list, which is the improved telelens. On the iPhone 12 Pro, there was only a 2x optical telelens, but On the iPhone 13 Pro, we finally jump up to a 3 times telelens. Even the iPhone 12 Pro Max only had a 2.5 times lens, now we're up to 3. Additionally, that 3 times telelens allows up to 15 times digital zoom. So 3 times optical zoom and 15 times digital zoom. A big step up there. In video mode, you can also now get 3 times optical zoom for just even better close-up video. Let's talk about the updated ultra-wide lens. Apple made a big jump here, going from an f2.4 aperture to an f1.8. This allows a whole lot more light to come into the sensor and allows it to get better photos. You're going to see less grain and noise in lower light situations. It's going to be faster to focus because more light can come in, so it's going to be better in those lower light situations, and it can shoot quicker, so it's going to have less blur. Plus, Deep Fusion now works on the ultra-wide lens. Before it was limited to both the tele and the wide. We can't show you much of ProRes at the moment, but this is one of the new features coming to the iPhone 13 Pro. Apple will enable this, and it's kind of like Apple ProRAW, but for video. It's raw video that you can shoot, edit, and master straight from your iPhone or your iPad. Unfortunately, it's not here at launch, but it should be arriving soon in an update. That brings us to number 7. This is cinematic mode, which is coming to the entire iPhone 13 lineup, but it is so cool. You can see how here it adds this bokeh to the background, kind of like portrait mode, but for video. Now, it's still not perfect, and we have had some issues with random things kind of getting blurred out, but we did see that too with early versions of portrait mode, but Apple fixed it over time with software updates, so I'm sure this is only going to get better. You can turn cinematic mode on or off after you've shot it, change where the focus is, and you can even change how much background bokeh there is. Here are just a couple cinematic mode videos that I shot on my iPhone 13 Pro. This is Dixie, our bunny here, all in cinematic mode. This is Mosby, who is really excited about his ball, but a little shy about being on camera. And of course, we have Easton, our little cat here. And our house is messy, but cinematic mode makes all that blurred out, so it's not nearly as distracting. Here you can see what it looks like with cinematic mode on, there on the left, and cinematic mode turned off, there on the right. And here's one more shot comparison showing Easton before and after with and without cinematic mode. It makes a big difference. It's going to allow a lot of people to capture great video on their iPhone 13.